In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use my free printable Hawaii vacation planner to help plan your Hawaii vacation. I've gotten quite a few emails over the past few months from subscribers asking for tips or ideas on how they can plan their Hawaii vacation. So because of that, I made you guys a free printable vacation planner, and I'll leave a link in the description box below. In today's video, I'm going to go over 3 parts of the planner. The first one is all the information at the very top of the planner, your hotel, departing and arriving flight information, car rental, any meetings or appointments that you might have. The second part of the vacation planner is what I like to call the vacation grid, where you can see a week at a time with the morning, afternoon, and evening for your Hawaii vacation. And then the third part I'll go over is an example of a full week on how you can plan here in Hawaii. So let's get into it. For the very first part of your Hawaii vacation planner, I listed 5 separate pieces of information. Going from left to right, the very first thing is going to be your arriving flight. Second is going to be your hotel information. Third is going to be your car rental information if you decide to have a car rental. Fourth is going to be, again, those meetings or appointments you have. And then lastly is going to be your departing flight information. So one of the reasons that I highly recommend having a one-page printable is so you have all of your confirmation numbers as well as any of your times that you need to know, such as your flight information, any pickups or drop-offs, all on one page. Now, yes, you can keep that on your phone, but if your phone dies, you no longer have that information with you. Or if you're traveling internationally, you don't have good phone service, for example, or you can't connect to the hotel Wi-Fi, this keeps everything consolidated on one page. So from the very far left, I wanted to make sure that you guys put your arriving flight information, such as the airline, flight number, arrival time, everything that you need to know on that one page, especially your confirmation number. So when you get to the airport, you're not fumbling through your phone, going through your bag, or anything like that. Everything is on that one page. Second is the hotel information. This is probably the most important part of the entire sheet if you're staying here in Waikiki. For the hotel information, Waikiki has a lot of hotels. And if you're staying at a hotel such as a Hilton, a Hyatt, an Outrigger, there are multiple hotels by the same name. So for example, if you're staying at the Hilton Village, there is that property, which is oceanfront. There's also the Hilton Waikiki, a totally different property, a bit of a distance from the Hilton Village. If you're staying at the Outrigger, for example, there's an Outrigger Reef, an Outrigger Waikiki Beach Resort, a Beachcomber by Outrigger, a few other properties which have a very similar name. Same thing for the Hyatt. There's the Hyatt Regency, Hyatt Centric, Hyatt Place. If you just write down Hyatt, for example, you might go to the wrong hotel. And if you're coming to Hawaii during summer, you waited in line, you've got your taxi, Uber, unloaded all your luggage, you get to the front desk only to realize you're at the wrong property. When I used to work at Outrigger at one of their concierge desks, this is something I saw quite a bit, where guests would go to the Outrigger Reef, for example, wait in line, get all their luggage set with the valet, or excuse me, the bell desk, and they would get to the front of the line only to realize they're actually staying at a different Outrigger property. So in this section of your printable, make sure to check your hotel reservation to see the full name of the property. So if you're staying at Outrigger Reef, make sure you write that. If you're staying at Outrigger Waikiki Beach Resort, make sure you write that. There's also 2 lines where you could put the address. So if you're staying at one of those properties, you want to make sure to have the actual hotel full address. And the reason for that is if you're using Uber or Lyft to get you from the airport to Waikiki, one of the biggest things with that is if you type in Outrigger, for example, it'll route you to the closest Outrigger to the airport. So if you're staying at Outrigger Waikiki and you just type in Outrigger, the first hit will be Outrigger Reef. It'll take you to the wrong Outrigger. So you want to make sure if you use Uber and Lyft that the address you type in, or the hotel that pops up with the address, matches where you're actually staying. Now, for the phone number, I also put in parentheses the area code 808. So if you're staying in Waikiki, and one of the things Waikiki has quite frequently are block festivals or block parties as well as parades. Typically, most hotels will alert you if there's road closures during the time of your stay or your arrival date, but sometimes that doesn't always happen. If you have the local phone number 808 on your actual printable, you can call the hotel the day of or even a couple of days before to double check if there's any road closures that you should know about. If you write down a phone number that's 1-800 or 1-888, that's typically going to be a call center or reservation center as opposed to an 808 number, which is a local number. Once you get that phone number, give them a call to make sure that you're actually calling the front desk of the hotel. So if you have any questions the day of, where to park, any road closures, you'll know you're speaking to someone at the hotel itself. And the other piece of information that's on the form is the confirmation number. Again, you want to have everything on that one page ready to go. The third part of the form, I also put car rental information, and I put lines for the pickup and drop off. And the reason for that is not all car rental agencies have a 24-hour drop-off. So if you're trying to avoid paying parking at your hotel, which can be anywhere from $35 to $55, you want to make sure that you're aware of the drop-off times for the car rental lot. If you don't make the drop-off time and they don't have the after-hours drop-off, that would mean that you'd have to park your car at your hotel or find street parking. Having all that information on one sheet makes it super easy. Now, as for car rentals, if you're staying in Waikiki, you probably won't need a car rental the entire time that you're here. Most tours and activities will do pickups within Waikiki Waikiki or they're close by from your hotel. So if you're not staying at a major hotel or you're staying at an Airbnb, there's typically a pickup within a couple blocks. If you're on an island tour, a luau, for example, Pearl Harbor tour, any of that typically will have pickups either in Waikiki at a major hotel or very close by. The next part of the form is going to be the meetings and agendas. So if you're here in Hawaii for a family reunion or you're here for work, any important meetings or appointments that you have, you can put that in that section of the form. And the next part of the form is the departing flight information. This has your airline, flight number, departure times, all in one section. And the reason I put that on here is because sometimes your flight can be delayed. Sometimes your flights are moved up, sometimes they're delayed by a day. You never know what's gonna happen. So it's always a good idea to have all that information on your planner. So if you need to check it right away, everything is on that one page. So that covers the first part of the planner. The second part is where you would do any of your planning. The second part is the vacation planning grid, and I absolutely love how this is laid out. There's sections for day 1 through day 7, assuming day 1 and 7 is your actual travel days. There's 5 full days where you can plan out your Hawaii vacation. There's a section for the morning, a section for afternoon, and a section for evening. This is a great way to see how much time you actually have. When I worked as a concierge for almost 10 years, one of the biggest things that I would always hear is that sometimes when people were actually planning out their vacation using a grid format similar to this, that's when they started to realize how little or how much time they actually had here in Hawaii. If you're here for a week, it might feel like you have a lot of time, but once you actually plug in your dinners, you plug in your activities, your tours, shuttle pickups, it doesn't leave a lot of time. And having a one-page grid that shows everything from morning, afternoon, and evening allows you to see it all at a glance so you can plan what you want to do. Same thing for if you made a reservation for, say, Diamond Head Crater, you can plug that into the actual vacation grid so you can see how much time you have here on the island, or if you want to make sure that you have a reminder for that specific hiking activity. Same for dinner reservations. If you're planning to have dinner at a popular restaurant such as Duke, that's not something that you want to forget, especially if you book that reservation a month or 2 in advance. Having this vacation planner grid allows you to plug in all the important information you have at a glance, all of your reservations in one easy to follow format. So that takes care of the 2 main parts of the form. The first part is going to be the information part of the form that has all of your quick details, and the second part is the vacation grid. Now for the next part of the video, I'm going to show you guys an example of a filled out itinerary and how you can use it to plan your own Hawaii itinerary. Now for vacation, I'm all for relaxing and going with the flow. However, it is important to have a general game plan. I don't like whenever I go on vacation and I'm hungry in the morning, I want to go for breakfast and I don't know where to even start. I like to do all my research ahead of time, so I have a general game plan and ideas on things that I can do, so I'm not wasting valuable vacation time finding something to do. I at least have a few options. So another way for the vacation planning grid to be used, if you don't want to plan out every single part of your stay, it could also be used as an idea board. So for example, if you wanted to go for breakfast, you can research a few different breakfast options and make a list on that grid for ideas that you can do for each day. And that way, the morning that you wake up and you decide you want to go somewhere, you have a one-page sheet that has a ton of different ideas you can choose from without having to worry about where do I need to yell, where do I need to get recommendations from. Everything is one page, super easy to access. I'll also, in our next part of our video, show you an example of a planned out week for vacation on how you can do an entire week of Hawaii here on Oahu of tours and activities for under $500 a person. And that's assuming you're planning 4 different activities and tours, plus 1 or 2 easy low-cost options such as the Waikiki Trolley Pink Line, which is only $5, or Diamond Head Crater, as I mentioned earlier in the video, which is only $5. Overall, Hawaii can be as cheap or as expensive as you'd like it to be, and there are so many things that you can do here on the island outside of tours and activities. It's a great idea to sprinkle everything in, and I'll also leave a link in the description box below for some of my reviews for other tours and activities I've done here on the island. I hope this helps you guys. And last but not least, if you're interested in a custom itinerary, make sure you check the link in the description box below and we can create a custom itinerary just for you. I hope you like it.